Welcome one, welcome all to the Funhouse. I am Uncle Salty. This is episode 6, and it's playtime. On today's show, we're going to be looking at and talking about a toy from my childhood. It's part of the Masters of the Universe line. He's a member of the Snake Men. It's Tung Lashor. I just recently got both of these toys. They were sold to me as a package deal. This is the 1980's Masters of the Universe Tung Lashor from my childhood. Now I say from my childhood, but I never actually owned this toy. The neighborhood kids down the road had this toy, so I did get to play with it. I just never owned it, and I've always wanted it for my collection. This is the Masters of the Universe Origins toy that came out in 2023. As I said, they were sold to me as a package deal. $132 later, I now own them both. What a deal, huh? But I always say, if you want something, you should always go out and get it. I really only wanted the 1980's Tung Lashor first because I've always wanted it since I was a child, and next because of this sweet action feature I will be showing you a little later on in the show. Let me give you the backstory of Tung Lashor for those of you who are not familiar with this character. He's a member of the Snake Men. His long, sticky tongue has a paralyzing toxin, so he can capture his enemies and then bring them to King Hiss. He was imprisoned in the magical void underneath Snake Mountain, but then was set free by Cobra Khan. Cobra Khan is one of Skeletor's henchmen, but he pulls double duty, whereas he is also a member of the Snake Men. Now, if you've ever seen the Filmation cartoon, Tung Lashor is also in that, where he looks nothing like this. They also make him a member of the Evil Horde in that cartoon series. I think they did that because at the time, they didn't come up with the Snake Men idea until a little later on down the toy line. Let's take a look at the toy now itself. Tung Lashor stands at 5.5 inches tall, which is the standard height for all 1980's Masters of the Universe figures. Just to get an idea of size, let's bring in another figure. We're going to bring in the Masters of the Universe Classics Battleground Evil Lyn figure. And standing them next to each other, you can see that Evil Lyn towers over Tung Lashor. Now let's get to the articulation for the figure. And Tung Lashor has very, very minimal articulation. And we'll start bottoms up. The legs move up and down and back and forth. He has a swivel at the waist, a very limited swivel at the waist, as you can see. And most of the 1980's Masters of the Universe figures had a spring in the waist, so when you turn them and then release them, they would give you a devastating punch. However, he does not have that added feature, and you'll see why that is in a moment. The arms rotate 360 degrees, forwards and backwards, and his 3 fingers remind me of a sticky frog's. His head does not move at all, and that's for the same reason that he has no spring in the waist. And as I said, I'll show you that momentarily. He has a great base. Both feet provide a great base, so you can stand the figure up with no problem at all. Now, just looking at this figure, he looks nothing like a snake. He looks more like a chameleon or some type of a lizard. Now, moving on to the Masters of the Universe Origins figure, We'll take a look at the box to begin with. And as you can see, there is the Snakeman logo at the bottom of the box. He also comes with a mini comic, as did all of the Masters of the Universe figures in the 1980s. Now, taking a look at the back of the box, you can see an excellent painting of Tung Lashor doing battle with Cyclone in a swamp. It also has a cross cell for the 4 figures in this specific wave. There's Snake Armor Skeletor, Hypno, Tung Lashor, and Roboto. It has 2 side panels. The bottom side panel shows the weapons that Tung Lashor comes with, a crossbow and a staff, as did the original 1980's Tung Lashor. And in the top side panel, it shows that this figure does not have any action feature at all. It does have a tongue, but if you want to use the tongue, you have to stick it in the mouth, and then when you're done using the tongue, you pull it out of the mouth. So that's not really very fun at all, I don't think, if you were a child to play with this toy. Now let's bring the 1980's Masters of the Universe Tung Lashor back in, and I'm going to show you the reason that I paid $132 for this figure. As you can see, there is the dial on the back, and that is the reason why his head does not move and there is no spring in the waist. And you hold the figure like such, and you twist the dial on his back, and you can see his tongue. It goes in and out and back and forth. And that, folks, is why I paid $132. Was it worth $132? You tell me. Thank you for watching the show today. Hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you can subscribe to the channel. Now, I'm going to take a week off from doing any shows. This upcoming week, I'm going to meet Jerome Bettis, former Los Angeles Rams and Pittsburgh Steelers running back, who is now in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And so hopefully I can get a picture taken with him and interact with him a little bit. And that will be the next show that I do for the channel. Once again, thank you for watching the show, and always remember that a hermit has no peer pressure.